Welcome to another episode of Terrifying Tales podcast. I am your host, Tyler. We also have Shawn.
Hello.
And Duane.
Hey.
And today, we're going to talk about Onyx Path Con.
Wah, 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 wah.
Bum, 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 bum.
I just feel like when you say it, it just needs to be like air horns.
I was going to do that, but instead I did the Final Fantasy victory music.
Yeah, you can do that after the con when it's done and we've all gained experience. And like,
yeah, we've all leveled up.
47 gil, you know.
Okay, so let's talk about all the awesome live plays we're going to do. And we'll each talk about the ones we're doing, and we'll talk about the ones other people are doing who could not attend this chat. We will open on Friday, June 11th, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time with our weekly Contagion Chronicle No Time for Reality Season 2. So Duane, talk to us about Contagion Chronicle and talk to us about if you have any very special episode in mind.
Well, considering that we had just started with our first episode of Session 2 this past Friday.
Yeah, we did.
I kind of want to see where the story's going to go next week. And then depending on if we're at a good kind of middle ground to where I can stick something in that is very special, then I will. If not, we'll just run it as normal.
Cool.
Kind of sad explanation, but that's kind of how it is.
Get it. Since you and I have both done the Contagion Chronicle, I guess we'll let Shawn ask some questions if he has any. We'll answer them about what it is and all of those cool things.
So, Duane, I have several lists of questions from people around the world who know that we're doing this. Yeah.
We emailed them. We got several thousand replies and pared it down to, like 50.
Right. About 962 of those were basically just, did you know that Duane looks like Keanu Reeves? And I was like,
why is Keanu Reeves running Contagion Chronicle?
Right. Yeah, basically. And it's just like, well, that's Duane. Well, and I was like, no, that's totally Keanu Reeves. Like, he's special guest GM. You should totally watch it because it's Keanu Reeves. So I lied to almost 1,000 people.
Did you?
Maybe I hit reply all. So, you know.
Oh, but it was a blind carbon copy.
You're right. Just whatever. Just a small white lie. Anyway, Duane, we have run Contagion Chronicle twice so far. Are you making any connections to the current stories?
The first one that you guys had ran was pretty far back, and even going through and rereading some of the recaps, like I just couldn't remember it, so I couldn't piece it together.
Right.
But the last actual season of No Time for Reality, I was in the second half of it, so I was able to kind of mishmash the first half that I had missed personally. Mm-hmm. So you will see stuff coming over from the first season of No Time for Reality. You'll see it flowing into the second season.
Okay, cool, very cool.
You are the connector.
Yes, I am the connector.
Oh no, I meant Shawn is the Macintosh.
Yeah, Macintosh is one of the main ones that's leading this new crew.
What?
Yes, it was you that had the call for aid. Oh, so for any of those who have not seen our Contagion Chronicle story, in the end of the first season of No Time for Reality, the last group had gone into the hedge, and that was where we ended it on like a huge cliffhanger. And then I get to start up and with season 2, which is fine. It just so happens that my character was one that had gone into the hedge, and due to scheduling with different games and whatnot, we couldn't get the original crew back in. So we have a whole new crew of PCs, and it just so happens that Macintosh, Shawn's character, at the end of season 1 had called up one of the new PCs as they had worked together, shared information on different denizens of the dark at one point or another, and it was someone that he felt that he could trust, at least in a working relationship type.
Interesting.
And it was pretty much like, I'm going to do this. If you don't hear back from me, go to this address because shit's about to get real.
All right, cool.
And then that's where it led Corey's character to the Top Shelf, which is the name of the bar.
Yep, kept the bar, the dog, and the owner, the mysterious lady with the powers.
Yeah, and their first episode was pretty much just what most first episodes are, going over last season, rules and whatnot. And what's going to start happening through the first couple of ones, I'm going to try and I personally, as a GM, especially in games that encompass large amounts of stuff, I always want to, they always tell you to focus in on your characters and make them feel like part of the story. And obviously you want to do that. The way that I'm doing that now is this very first place where the contagion has kind of seeped over is kind of going to be the group's trial to see if the woman will allow them to take over the bar, to see if they're up to standard, if they are truly the people that Macintosh felt that they could be. And it is going to tie into Mayor's Promethean backstory.
Oh, and for those who don't know, this is a Chronicle of Darkness supplement made by Onyx Path Publishing that is designed to allow you to connect all the various titles in the series into one overarching campaign, where you can have a mix and match of creature types instead of everyone is a unified creature.
We got them all. Well, we don't have them all, but we got a good.
We have all the ones we never tried last time.
Yes, yeah, we do have the ones that not a lot of people play.
That was going to be my next question is who what kind of splats you got going on?
So we have 2 mages, Tyler and Corey. We have 2 Prometheans, which I don't feel get enough vision.
They do not get enough play, at least on shows.
And that is being played by Meredith and Rachel. Key is playing a mummy. And then we do have 1 changeling played by Savannah.
Oh, cool.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's all 6.
Well, that sounds fun.
We have me summoning Cthulhu entities, and we have Corey, who is basically electromancer superhero. You dig it, Shawn. Uses weird devices to do it.
Which is really, before he even gave me his character concept, like I was gonna pick one of them to be like the person that Macintosh contacted. I was like, all right, well, Macintosh would probably go more with a mage because they're more on the human side anyways. He wouldn't contact a Promethean and be like, hey, I need your help.
And it wouldn't be my mage.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. It definitely wouldn't have been Santos. And then when Corey gave me his concept and like the name Kilowatt, I was like, "Yep, Macintosh would totally go for this person because his actual magic item, his magic tool, is a like electro pack that he carries around and casts magic out of."
That's pretty killer.
Yeah, I figured you 2 probably had worked together sometime in the past.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's basically the glue. He's the only one who showed up at the bar going, I got a mission from this other dude. The rest of us either showed up randomly, or in my case, I just go there all the time. And as soon as they said your name, we were like, oh yeah, that guy keeps trying to hunt
me. Well, you don't support labor, so
Yeah. I'm the only monster you actually hunt. I came up to where like he's kind of the worst hunter.
He really is. He's just kind of the shittiest hunter.
Yeah, that was one of the things he was like, yeah, he's that hunter that hangs out with all the other monsters.
They're not all bad. They're doing, good things, sort of.
You'll be happy to know too, Duane, that our Vorpal Chronicle of Darkness that begins the first Tuesday in June, which is probably a few days after the people hear this recording. We're touching on all of the archetypes that you don't necessarily see a lot. We're opening with Mage the Awakening because that's what I'm GMing. So to back up a step, 4 GMs are taking turns running different archetypes with an overarching plot that we worked out together, and all of the different stories are connected, and each one's a full season, like 15 episodes. It's going to take 2 years to tell the story across really 6 or 7 archetypes. And we went with Mage, and then it's going to be Vampire because then the big ones are out of the way. Then we're going to do Changeling, followed by Promethean, followed by Geist, followed by Demon, and end on Hunter, the other big one.
Neat.
Yep. Next thing in the show that's going to come up, also on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, is Squeaks in the Deep. So now it's Shawn's turn to talk.
Oh, I should put that on my calendar. Yeah. Squeaks in the Deep. New supplement for Pugmire. Really cool. I played it a couple times, I think now. So in Pugmire, it's cats and dogs, and then Pirates adds birds and lizards. Squeaks in the Deep adds plain rats or mice, which is cool. Because who doesn't want to be rat or mice? And yeah, well, of course, Tyler digging on the psionics. Yeah, their magic is psionic magic, which is cool. It's very like if you saw Secret of Nim, it's very Secret of Nim.
Yeah.
So you got the main enemies are like the rats of laboratory, very cool.
I like.
Yeah, and then their ancestries are sort of like gender doesn't really matter. Like it's not even a focus of the game. So that's a really cool thing, because I know that's a big thing nowadays in gaming. Like, why does your gender matter, sort of thing. So yeah, that's cool. That you can, yeah, psionics. A lot of the rats are sort of like very smart and schemy, while the mice are very like very wily, very good at sort of subterfuge and things. So it's a pretty cool system. Pretty cool, I guess you could say, splats for Pugmire. So
I was privy to play it during HorrorCon.
oh yeah, that's right.
So are you gonna throw down with, oh man, what's the name of our island?
Possum Junction.
Yes, Possum Junction.
I've been trying to figure out a way to loop it in, because we are going to run a short Squeaks of the Deep on our channel here soon, and I want to loop that into what that is a little bit, and I kind of want to add a couple of characters from that series that I've been doing as well. I've
So
kind
the
of
Path
thought
show
about
is going to
them.
be like a sequel. I mean, a prequel then to the Kickstarter.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, just like leading into like the Rats of Labrador do some weird shit underground around the Isle. I thought about having them meet Queso, and she's hired them as a crew and like looking for treasure, but then they end up finding trouble instead. So could be kind of fun that way.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Pugmire is a 5e light supplement, a whole series: cats, dogs, reptiles, birds. Now it's nice, written by Eddie Webb. It's pretty cool. You can run it many different ways. Shawn runs it more as a lighthearted high fantasy. Eddie runs it as a creepy story with anthropomorphic animal protagonists. The next thing for us is Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 12th. We will be playing Trinity Assassins. And as far as I know, we will be the first group actually playing this live.
Oh,
That's
sure. That's awesome.
Trinity Continuum, for those who don't know, is a story path system that has many different genres attached to a base rule set. In the base rule set, you are essentially, it's a mixture between Mission Impossible and James Bond and Jason Bourne at its base level. You play those kinds of heroes that are exceptional but still human. And then they have the near future version, where due to an accident in space causing weird radiation to cover the planet, superheroes appear. That's called Trinity Aberrant. You can catch that on our show. Duane's run that before and hopefully will again.
Yeah.
She's also pretty cool. It's straight up superheroes, but it is Onyx Path supplement. So the whole thing is dark, and the way they were created was dark, and the ending for them is dark because eventually they accidentally end the world.
Yep.
And,
they blow up.
Yep. And the ones that don't wreck everything are forced to leave the planet, and they continue evolving in space until they become supervillain monsters. Not all the superheroes, but the ones that choose to embrace the radical change the radiation causes. The villains,
Yeah,
the Magnetos.
the Ascension.
Yeah. And that moves into the far future Trinity game, which is Trinity Aeon, where the heroes play genetically altered scions who protect the Earth and the other colonies in the solar system from these aberrations that are hiding out in space. Then you drop backwards in time and you have Trinity Adventure, which is based around Pulp, Indiana Jones, Doc Savage, The Phantom, all of that. So a lower powered superheroes from a different age, lots of Nazi punching.
Yes.
And that completes the original Trinity loop, because these are all modern versions of older games, the Trinity Continuum. So now Onyx Path is moving into new territory, and there are 2 games showcasing at the con: Trinity Continuum Assassins, which is exactly what it sounds like. We are running that, and Trinity Continuum Anima, which is a new special thing that you'll have to show up at the con to find out about. Lots of cool stuff there that they'll be talking about then. But Assassins, the devs sat down with us and actually told us 2 of the primary devs binged all of the John Wick movies in a weekend, and this game is what they wrote afterwards from inspiration. That probably tells you all you need to know about how cool that game's going to be. Voodoo Arcade Steve will be running that for us at the con. The next thing after that on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so competing shows, that's how cons work. is the first of our 3 Mage the Ascension 20th anniversary shows that myself and Erica Esoterica are going to be GMing. We're actually connecting all 3 of the stories to create a 3-part tale across the 3 different versions of Mage 20 we're running. The first one is Technocracy Reloaded, which is the science as magic, high tech, can make the Matrix and Terminator and name your sci-fi franchise here real using magic that isn't really magic, but also is totally science.
Yeah.
Totally science.
That one will be at 2. And then later that same day at 6 p.m., we'll be running Victorian Age Mage 20th. I think, Duane got to partake of when we ran a Kickstarter show for it. That is Mage the Ascension in the Victorian era. So very steampunk vibes, very Victoriana, Penny Dreadful with the monsters and the creepiness if you want to add it in there. And then the final part will be on Sunday at 5 p.m. on the 13th, Mage 20th, Rich Bastard's Guide to Magic, which is, everyone always asks if magic was real. Wouldn't you use it to get rich? This book talks about all of that, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, and how it can terribly go wrong. So, what questions do you 2 have about those?
So is Rich Bastards just a bunch of rich people just fighting each other with magic and getting rich?
It's a lot about an aspect of magic that doesn't necessarily get a lot of traffic in other books, but people always are curious about. It's about the magic of probability and the magic of altering fate. And what happens if multiple people can alter fate? How do they collide? How do those fates collide and what happens? Like, it's not just one person that could alter the stock market. What if it's 20 and they all try at once? What happens? And how do you do it?
It all implodes.
So it is kind of a fascinating concept. It's also about the power you can have for magic and what happens when it's abused and tearing down the abusers. Because obviously, if you were such a person in real life, the power to alter reality by force of will, you could have a lot of power.
Now, without giving too much away so that people actually watch it, how exactly, because these 3 different versions of Mage, are kind of in different time periods, especially, with Victorian Mage, how do you plan to connect the stories together?
So I will be running Technocracy Reloaded. People listening might wonder why the convention is pushing that when it's still in Kickstarter or still in backer kit, but is an older backer kit supplement. We're actually running adventures from the Operatives Dossier, which is a new supplement coming out for Technocracy Reloaded with NPCs, pre-mades, and scenarios, a whole series of them. So we're going to run one of those stories, which is going to seem to be the one thing, the mission they're given. But as they complete the mission, they will learn it's something else entirely, as the mastermind that caused the havoc they're trying to undo. They catch up to him and find out that, or I don't know if it's a him yet. We haven't decided. It could be a her or they. They catch up to said villain and discover that said villain is a master of 2 kinds of magic: forces and time. And yes,
that'll do it.
They interrupt the spell, and the spell goes haywire, casting all of the players into various different parts of time, including the one or ones that are in both games, so that they end up in the Victorian era with the villain, and they have to round up any mages they can find, the new players, to help stop this villain who is basically Moriarty stomping through time now.
Wow.
Now, will the players be creating? For example, I'm in Technocracy, I do believe.
Yes.
If I was to play in Victorian, would I be carrying my character over, or would I be playing something else?
Anybody who makes it to the next game, same character, just gets tossed through time by the magic.
Got it.
It should be interesting to see how they interact. Someone from 2021 dealing with someone from 1879. I don't know a lot of details about Erica's story. She's running Victorian era, but essentially chasing the villain will end up with more haywire time magic, and anyone who moves to Rich Bastard's Guide gets pulled back into the future.
Now, I guess this is kind of a question that's more theoretical, but taking a mage that was, part of the Technocracy, where magic is science and everything comes off of, their implants and stuff like that. That's where their magic flows from. And then throwing them into Victorian age, isn't that going to be like a splatter on their mind? Like,
yep, the paradox will be awesome.
Will my magic even work now that there's no technology? Or
if we throw anyone through time that actually does have a lot of hypertech, it is all gonna suffer paradox. However, not as much as you'd think going back, more going forward, because there was less paradox in the Victorian era related to science in the modern era.
Right.
That's kind of how the technocracy backfired their own plan, where they locked science in to be such a specific thing. Even they have a hard time convincing people science can be other things, where in the Victorian era, everything was still possible
Right.
in the minds of the people. So any of the Victorian people who get tossed forward in time might run into a problem when they suddenly discover that steampunk no longer works. And then in the Rich Bastard's Guide story, it will end where the villain tries to hide behind his powerful contacts in massive corporations and politics. And that's how we integrate Rich Bastard's Guide.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
The next show after that will be run by Patrick, our 5e guru, and will be Dead Man's Rust, Scarred Lands at 3 p.m. on Saturday. So we'll let Shawn talk about that for a second, since he's our I don't know. You're not our backup 5e guy, but you are the guy who's done most of the stuff with Patty.
Yeah, I mean, I played some 5e. We did the Dead Man's Rust. What was that? Was a Kickstarter, I want to say.
Yep.
Yeah. So played that. So the whole thing about Dead Man's Rust is there's like a plague of rust that's rotting not only weapons but also people, which is kind of wild. So I don't know how much Patty's gonna pull on that, or if he's gonna actually use, because Dead Man's Rust is neat because it's actually, you can kind of compartmentalize, or I should say the adventure itself is compartmentalized, so you can kind of do it however you want to do it, which is kind of neat. So I don't know if Patty's going to use those or link it in there somewhere, so that'll be cool. But last time we played it, he left us in a spider's nest. So
Yes, he did.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
For those who don't know, Dead Man's Rust is an actual adventure module like Wizards of the Coast does, but it's for Scarred Land setting specifically. Levels 1 to 12, I think.
1 to 10. 1 to 10.
Higher.
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
And you can pull pieces out you want. It's got new ancestries and some new subclasses, new magic, whole new regions that have not been touched on in the 5e version of Scarred Lands. So yeah, I'm sure you'll see some of it. Probably stuff you didn't do last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 8 p.m. that same day, more Patty with the other most recent Scarred Lands supplement, the Frostlands of Fenrilic, which is a sandbox setting they released on the Slareshan Vault, which is where people can submit their own stuff for Scarred Lands on Drive-Thru-RPG, like we do, to make supplements and whatnot. And it's a setting, it's part of the world of the Scarred Lands that they're opening up to fans to be able to create their own areas in and their own stuff and their own whatnot, and just provides a base framework of classes and ancestries and whatnot. And we'll let Shawn talk about that for a second, because he ran this Kickstarter when it came out.
I did. It's really cool because they basically say, hey, here's a here is an island that's frozen, here's a town in the middle, here's a few landmarks. By the way, write whatever you want to write, because this is your island to sort of make stuff up. So it's a really fun, really cool sort of adventure that way, and I dig it. So
Yeah,
the trend of leasing books with bare bones information and letting the players create their own stuff, I really dig it.
I find it very interesting, mainly because it uses one of I'm a big fan of using underused mechanics, like stuff that's in Dungeon Master's guides, or for any game, but there's some mechanics where people just look over them. Weather is so important in Fenrilic.
Yeah,
and it will kill you so fast. But it is one of those mechanics that a lot of DMs look over, but you have to look at it in this setting, in this world. Even the character not the classes, the ancestries, they are specific to Fenrilic, and they can't go anywhere else unless they have magical items, because they need the cold.
They will melt. Some of them literally.
They will die. So just that the weather and the isolation of it is just yes.
Yeah, it's really
they have
cool,
some very creative writers on that team.
Yeah, they really do play up that whole weather and all that fun stuff. So it gets you thinking about the environment, the world itself as a character, which is a neat concept.
Yeah, and weather really does bring a whole new level to encounters. You can turn something to where it's just a bunch of low-level fights, but now you have, a blizzard just rolled in. So everybody on the field needs to make saves to not get hit by giant balls of ice.
I love using weather. I'm with you, Duane. We'll see how much you enjoy that mechanic in Acid and Ice in the next couple sessions.
Yeah. No, I am looking for I love it when the environment gets used because it's always there. And sometimes it even being a player myself, it does bore you. It's like, oh yes, you're in this room. Okay, that's cool. But you're in this room and oh yeah, the floor is made out of rubber. So every time you want to make a step, I need you to do, weird stuff. Or
Oh my
this
God,
window
that's my favorite trap of all time. But we'll save that for the episode when we talk about dungeon traps. So after Frostlands of Fenric, we have Scion at 9 p.m. on Saturday, which Duane will be leading. It will integrate both Scion Hero as well as Scion Masks of the Mythos and Scion Dragon. So tell us whatever blurb you got for that.
So for this game, like Tyler said, I'm going to be including all three, pretty much just to showcase all of them and how they can work together. Probably when I do pre-mades, it'll probably be 2 or 3 of Hero, 1 of Mythos, 1 of Dragon, depending on, I don't even remember how many players I have. I will be just probably doing a very easy one-shot story, but it'll be very interesting to see how, because each Scion from each book, Hero, Mythos, and Dragon, all of their gods are different, and their level of deification, if you will, for the heroes are different. Some were born, some were made, some were chosen, and it's gonna be interesting how the characters use that to to interact with each other, and how the word stereotype keeps coming in my head, but that's not the right word. But like, I don't know the word, but it'll be interesting.
That'll be fun. Yep, and you have 5 people, including Shawn.
Wait, I'm in that game?
No, you are. You're the player and the producer, because there's a 9 p.m. game at the exact same time run by one of our friends from Gehenna Gaming, Nobleman Nick. He's going to run Ghost Hunters, which is a badass 20th anniversary edition setting, but it's for all 20th anniversary edition. We played it last year at the Kickstarter, and you'll probably see it at Halloween this year, where you play ghost hunters, mortals, running into the supernatural in the world of darkness.
Yeah.
And Steve is going to be in his game, so Steve could not be in Scion.
There is another Scion game going on. I don't know if it's
there is a Scion game on Sunday, run by another really great GM that does things on the Onyx Path Twitch, who is going to do Scion Mythos versus Dragon. So that'll be interesting.
Yes. I am looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah. I don't remember which of his producer, but it'll be whoever. Oh, it's Corey. It's a little jealous of him. He's playing and producing. And then Sunday, our first game at 11 a.m. is Deviant the Renegades, which is actually going to be run by Erica. Since she couldn't join the podcast today, we're going to let Duane talk about it, because Duane and I ran it, but he ran it longer.
Did I?
Wait.
No, I didn't get to run it. We changed.
No, yeah, we switched to Aberrant. We're still going to let you talk about it because you understand the concepts.
I do. So, yes, Deviant. Deviant is a story of pain. It's all about revenge. So yeah, your characters were twisted in some way by either a company, person, or something to that effect. And your whole job is to seek this person and or company out and destroy them. And I love it. It is so awesome. Yeah, Tyler did run it. I did get to play in that game, and the amount of like different subclasses that you can make in that splat are just they're awesome. I mean, that's really the only way I can put it. I can't remember everyone's character, but I know that Jane did like the weird demon possessed schoolgirl.
Yep, demon possessed mind reader.
Yeah, I was, for lack of a better term, the Hunchback of Notre Dame with tentacles.
That's pretty awesome.
So put that in your mind.
Zach was the thing. Well, actually, he's more like Sabretooth. Zach was more like Sabretooth. This game is not a superhero game, but the superhero analogs fit. Because basically, it's your Wolverine. Weapon X warped you into something terrible, and now you want to kill them all. That is what it is.
Yeah.
Harry wasn't deviant. We put him in there as the guard helping them escape their prison. And then Jason. What was Jason? That's a good question. I don't remember now.
I don't remember. I know that Ray was
the angel.
Yes.
And then JT was possessed by a sentient AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember what Jason was now. But you should check it out. It's a pretty awesome game. Lots of people love it. It's the newest Chronicle of Darkness monsters type / splat.
Yeah, I would say personally, I feel it's not the darkest, but I do feel that like the storyline of it and the how you were made is a little bit more on the darker side of other splats.
Yeah, there's nothing cheery about the story. That's for sure. It is very gritty and dark.
Everything is against your will. It is a big game of not being able to
loss
do
of
what
agency.
you want. Yeah, loss of agency. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And then at the same time at 11 a.m. Matthew Dawkins will be running They Came From Classified. And I'm going to be in that. That's going to be awesome. If you're a fan of They Came, come check it out. It's the newest that's going to be a full book anyways. And I think this is the first time this one's going to be played live too. They Came From Camp Murder Lake, for those curious, will also be played by Gehenna Gaming Crew on Saturday. I don't know what time in the evening, but for They Came From Classified, that would be Sunday at 11 a.m. You should come check it out. We'll be hosting it on our channel. And yeah, it is a game of over-the-top tropey spy awesomeness. Clandestine, X-Files, Millennium, old school James Bond. We're talking the Roger Moore era here. Yep, it's going to be great.
Very, very fringy.
Yep. Won't spoil too much. I am helping contribute to the awesomeness that will be the next They Came book, which we can't talk about any details yet. So I actually got to look at the manuscript for Classified, and it's going to be fun. And then at 1 p.m., Monarchies of Mao, more Pugmire, run by our very own Shawn.
What?
You're running two?
Right. Yeah,
know, he is.
Wow.
Tell us about the cats.
The cats, the monarchies of Mao. It's where all the cats live. They have their all little kingdoms. They all want to hang out and be groovy. I definitely have to use Poppins for this one, since she is my favorite cat when it comes to running this stuff. I don't know, probably I had thought about doing some sort of murder mystery somehow or something, because the cats, the cats are very like manipulative, very bureaucratic, very like into sort of the intrigue, the court intrigue type stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking there. The cats are cool because their pirate classes are very fun, because they get all the boomstick stuff, and you got one that's just basically, I have all the guns, so it's fun that way. I could do like a murder on the Nile or something, like they're on a boat and they could be pirates.
Yes, you could. That'd be cool. And for those who are into casting, I will also say Mao is cool because in Pugmire, each kind of pet has its own kind of magic. Dogs get clerics and wizards. Mice and rats get psionics. Cats get your warlocks for you warlock fans. The sorcerers and the warlocks are the monarchies of Mao.
Yeah. Also, the cats also get the kung fu because they have the monk class. Yeah,
yes.
So
they get the monk class. The paladins are the dogs, the monks are the cats.
So
yeah,
so,
I was just gonna say cats are the best. Cats are the best. That's all
I was just gonna ask that. So in all of these different Pugmire games, is it safe to say that Monarchies of Mao is your favorite, Shawn?
Yeah, just because the cats are they're the best to do. They're kind of the fun, because dogs are dogs. Cats actually have sort of some like intrigue to them, because they're cats, so good time.
Yeah, if you had to break it up by genre, the base version with the dogs is very much romantic fantasy, Dragonlance, Blue Rose. It's definitely what you're getting into. Monarchies of Mao is more Ravenloft or mystery setting of Hercule Poirot. Yeah, and the Rats and Mice is more the Underdark or Spelljammer kind of a feel to it. Definitely. And then we'll be closing the con at 9 p.m. with our regular Vampire the Masquerade 20th anniversary show run by Rachel every week. I don't think we need to say much about that because we did a whole podcast about that, and there'll be more in the future.
What?
All I would have to say about it is I hope that someday I will get to play Vampire and not be a total noob about it.
Don't worry, it's coming. V5 that we were going to have on Saturday isn't happening. It's probably not going to happen on Saturday. It's probably going to fall to me, which means it'll be on Thursday.
Gasp.
but not until Rachel finishes season 1 of Starlight and Smoke. So possibly during the holidays, Duane.
Oh,
So we will see. If not, it'll be early next year. He will definitely be in it. So I'm not going to allow you to run away.
Santa's totally a vampire.
now I mean we've talked about all of these live plays. What else is going on at the con? Is anything else going on in the?
There is a whole pile of panels, and there are other live plays too. We are obviously not the only live players. Panel wise, we've got. It's going to kick off with the Mike and Mare Cooking Show, which I'll be producing at 1 on Friday. Opening ceremonies are at 4. And then on Friday, they're going to talk about disability in gaming, Mage to the Ascension.
Roll back. Is that an actual cooking show?
Yes. Yeah. That is a legit cooking show where they will give recipes for Onyx Path product related stuff and actually cook them like, vampire cupcakes. I don't know. That's why I'm producing it. I wanted to watch.
Holy crap. All right. I got to remember that. That sounds awesome.
Yep. 1 p.m. Disability in Gaming at 5:30. Mage to the Ascension 20th Anniversary Talk at 7. Exalted Exploring the Realms at 8. And Writing Horror Games at 9:30. And Saturday, the panels will be Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition at 9. Steve, I think, is producing that one. Realms of Pugmire at 10:30. What's Up with Onyx Path, which will talk about their brochure for the year. At noon, Scion, All Myths Are True at 1:30. A Story Path System Q&A at 3. Trinity Continuum Talk at 4:30. Onyx Path Publishing Art and Design at 6. Everybody loves the art panels. Freelancing in Game Publishing at 7:30. And then at 9, How to Storytell Virtual Games, where I will be on the panel along with Gehenna Gaming, Dork Tales, Onyx Path, and one other team. I can't remember which one, though. Find out when you watch it.
Cultist Anonymous.
Yes, Cultist Anonymous. Thank you. And then finally on Sunday at 10 a.m., They Came From panel, World of Darkness at 11:30, Chronicles of Darkness at 1. A lot of people have been asking what's coming with more Chronicles. That'll be your answer. Community content at 2:30, 5th Edition Fantasy Worlds at 4, closing ceremonies at 5:30, and then a developer Jackbox show with Dixie Cyanide at 8.
Neat.
For other shows, Dork Tales is doing another Technocracy Reloaded Operatives Dossier show on Friday. Mage the Awakening Into the West using Dark Eras will be Friday at 7. Plastic Age Split. Oh, that we already talked about that. And then They Came From Camp Murder Lake, run by Gehenna Gaming at 8. On Saturday, V5, run by Matthew Dawkins. Dark Eras 2, Hunter, The Vigil, Fear, and the Golden Promise of Tomorrow by Dork Tales. Changeling the Lost 2E in the Arthurian era with Tobias, who is a kick-ass storyteller.
Yes.
Ever will be in that one. You should check it out. And then Legend Lore with Steffi Devan at 11. That is another 5e supplement where you actually get pulled into a fantasy world, you yourself, as the player character. And then Trinity Continuum Anima at 5. Eddie Webb's running it. And on Sunday, Exalted Essence, run by Monica Specca, who is one of the primary devs for that game. We are running the Kickstarter for it now, and that's how you can see people who, like you, dear listeners, get your hands on the book and play it. You can see that from our version, but if you want to see how the writers envision it, check it out at the con. Another Ghost Hunters game by Dork Tales at 8, and then Dark Eras 2, The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. I don't know which splat that is, and that is the lineup, plus the Dragon versus Mythos we talked about earlier.
Dark Eras, I think, is just regular.
Dark Eras has stuff for all the splats. I don't know which one that is for him, or if he's just doing mortals with that one, like pirates. It kind of sounds like Changeling, but I guess we'll find out. Also could be Hunter, Devil in there. But yeah, the Dark Eras book covers each splat, has its own thing about what would they have been like in this era of time, in this era of time, in this era of time.
Yep. I guess we'll just have to watch it and find out.
Yep. And that is Onyx Path Con, and we know not all of that was Terrifying Tale. But we're using this show to talk about it anyways, because this show will air before the con. The Awesome Adventure we record next won't.
Oops.
Oh, no.
So definitely make sure you come check it out. And next week, or at least the next episode you were here, will be us talking about Simba Room, because we started our Simba Room show today on the Free League Publishing channel. Cool show, or cool game. Definitely going to be fun to talk about. So Duane, you and Shawn, you will have to come up with lots of questions for me because I'm running it. But that about wraps it up for us today, unless either of you have anything else.
No, I'm you kind of answered it all for us. So sounds exciting.
Duane, got anything else?
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess the last thing that I should throw out there is keep calm and carry a wand. That was bad.
that was bad.
Oh, wait a minute. That reminds me. You're not gonna are you gonna do a thing?
Oh yeah.
What, a pun?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a pun.
Okay. Cool. Waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Where are my ghouls at? Holla at me if you go into Onyx Path Con.
Wow. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll do better next time. I wasn't ready.
We're just all reacting to that. That's right, Shawn. You might not have picked up on it. That was Duane doing the puns this time, not me.
No, I got it. I got it.
This is a conspiracy.
I got it.
Until next time, viewers, we'll see you at the con.